Mwato eha Ctv Ghana's #1 emasu se area and some memo na edisa wutie na wosan so hwebie ene yagibra osemufo asone so kwagia yede eba somu yechegu ewo Facebook ene YouTube my Ctv GH like Uria no ato ma ne uyonko no wehuni a ekoso area nsem no edoso pa yehwe de bedi akotene ewo mu bi Mampeni Nana Dankwa Akuffo ede sama tudwa kire se December 7 abato no obebo ne humodin bia se be ya asumje kwan so NDC amanyokuo no eye Johnson asiedun ketia kire se wonum emfa wonsa enhye peace pact bia ase kopim se wonum abato bire su bia no wo hwere won kwa no mpanifo ebeye mu hwehwemu ama atentenene aye adwuma Esubrani bi ato ebo eya Northern Sudan na nsoma enipedua sabako ahwere wono mu enkwa eya weho sempa Esam no dodo na eka we ho ebuse mesese obegibre na yasane mu edi ama ewe mu somfo yeme Lateefa Akuffo memoaha Afeyese esemno asediana yeko mampeni Nana Dankwa Akuffo na kache mampeni di sembi atujwa wo kire se eyese de December 7 abato no eba so nintino wobehwe ama bambo dwuma yeko ayire bambo mutawe se de beye na aye asumje kwan so na afenso emfa eye basabasa ye bia no emba wo meyi emu mampeni no wakasa ewo Methodist Church of Ghana wo 13th biennial and 51st conference ekoso asante mantem wo Kumasi
Ochrese abwa ye ben abato biredi amanyofo bibiri na ena wono mo beprese wo beye basabasa nenso no wo behwe se bambo dwuma ekuo no de wonan ebisi fom no wetimi aye wondwuma yie pa no de bambo mutare nso se de beye na nipa bonefo no entumi eni wo man no su enkunim afi wo chrese NPP amanyo no eye nipa bia e kansemone e de fa won ho se abato no osinkentense wono mo ba bewia pa no wo se enye no kre anase enye ne sa sanse wono mo de ne wo hwehwa ene se adwebrew ebeba wo miemu na sumdwe edi hene abato yi a yeto ne mu na NPP amanyokuo no kra no eba na abato a yewie mu a enya de a ewo wo mugye mu ne senti no wo bia ntwe ne di emfemfisa asem na enipa bonifo bi eka no ho
The Akuffo-led NPP government is clear about its obligation and duty to ensure that the impending elections are conducted in an atmosphere of peace and security. And the security agencies will be alive to their responsibilities and will ensure that the free will of the Ghanaian people and the choice of national leadership will be manifest, free of violence and intimidation. I'm certain that the behavior of the Ghanaian people and their government and public authorities will put to shame all the naysayers, all the Jeremiahs, including, unfortunately, some persons of the cloth, who instead of preaching are bent on raising the specter of election rigging and Kenyans are bloodletting. They will be disappointed. The 2024 elections, like the previous ones we have held in Ghana in the Fourth Republic, will be conducted peacefully and in total compliance with the laws of the country. As far as the ruling MPP party is concerned, a party born from the noble Dankwa Dondo Guzia political tradition, which spearheaded the national resistance to authoritarian one-party rule in Ghana in the First Republic. Rigging is not part of our DNA. We have been and are eternal Democrats. We trust and accept the freely accepted express judgment of the people.
And Anochwe, presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kebuafo, editor electoral commission, Enyimuse, one mushe, Asumje, and the periphery Ghana for Esheno, Luama Batuano Bibia, ended an Alquanso Torting.
Again, let new president and parliamentarians. As a church, we believe that it is a civic responsibility for every registered member of the church and of this country to go and exercise their franchise, to vote people to lead in our nation and in our communities. We are going to elect people of integrity, people of honor for our constituencies. My humble advice is that the electorate must be resolute to elect those who will address the needs of Ghanaians. Let us do away with selfish candidates who will only be interested in their well-being, the well-being of themselves and their families. Let us not sell our conscience, the monetization that is creeping speedily into our politics is worrying. And we have to watch this. I tell you, as you take these monies, you are taking the proper road to your
NPP Frank Akuffo Dr. Aumia Echrese Wakako Shabo, Ewadom Kwabenya Nesama Wade Sabradi will beshe now one more day a 50,000 CCTV cameras ahodono abubo mantem ahodono when him say abino egusua yen sono one more envy ye ne campaign tour ogusua ekono and what is semi atuja.
With crime, I was in Wa a few weeks ago. When I got to Wa, someone had just been murdered, someone had just been killed at the lorry station. Actually, it was a driver's mate who was sleeping at the station who was killed. And there were a series of killings that were happening in Wa. So the one told me about it, and I was thinking. So when I came back, I was asking whether we could not, whether the CCTVs, because we had put in some CCTVs across the country, had not captured the criminals, but they said that they didn't have CCTV in that particular location. So I called National Security and I said, what will it take for Ghana to have CCTV on all the streets in all of our regional capitals and all of our district capitals, so that we can see any crime that is taking place, we know who, or we can at least have a clue. So they came back to me and they said they needed 50,000 CCTV cameras. And they are going to get 50,000 CCTV cameras. We are going to provide so that the police will have visibility for every movement, because we don't have enough police to be everywhere. And because I know in Accra, I won't mention the name, but someone was murdered. And the CCTV camera caught the murderer leaving the scene. And they went and caught the person. So it is very, very important. Because in places like China and so on, all the place is covered. So all criminal activity can be tracked. So I am going to introduce 50,000 CCTV cameras in all district capitals, all regional capitals, to support the police and the security agencies to be able to deal with crime.
Aseodu Enketia ene national chairman ya wada NDC amanyukuo no ano ene ensembia waka ene se ansa na batoɔ no ebeba so no se de mpanimfoɔ pre a se NDC amanyukuo no wonfa wonsa enhye Sia, and no one best in sign a year peace pact and was there be one more penny, sir, one more about to be I was sure one quano. I was sent penny for a pray, a pair at Antony, Edema South for no ansana, one of the ones, sir, I should be beside us.
We approach you. My Baba Mo pay, I am minister pay. After one by opposition, I said Baba Muda. Adia I say, would dear Bayachi say Adia, make way and your papa. But my buying a test of Mia, Didia, and see. Okoya. I bet you what you have said. You are no. Now I buy no or buy no. No, now no crossword. Happy out. What about you as a one? And when this Abbey are one more, let's see one more. You baby about you, you watch you, police in Paninform, soldier and Paninform, a bomb cocoa. Wrong instruction. Say, I buy a country, young tutu, a good nipa. Over wounded. She said, crime has no expiry date. Even watching that 2020, at the whole time, one more month, one more to do that. The records near now, and then the minister, or what you might say, the Kunipa, the fine word, the Sama minister, and I say, almost a dressing view, like I said, about your way, or mobile side, I am no side. What that town was a woody approach. That fool is not a fool. Someone of that are French for come. Premier Gao, Napaka.
Ababeto just say and pain pino yana aposifo and essential for a cabomo, a cobencomo, a shase periperio, a beye juma, a war, yamayi, a mone sentinel, a aposi saheni, yera George Kufudan pare, adding some out to ja ya watch the say, and essential for any aposifo ninano, one mukabomo, a shase asum jebedihini, a woman Ghana, a mo intending semnibi.
Pleading to the media. As it was said by my brother, the EU ambassador, the responsibility for declaring of election results will be in the The responsibility for declaring election results rests with the EC. So let's respect that. Because when results are declared wrongly from the wrong source and it becomes multiple in the environment, it is in itself a disinformation and misinformation, this time round not created by anybody, but we the carriers. And if you're able to do that for these elections, even if God called me to glory and nobody attend my funeral, I'll be happy. Because it put the whole country and everybody on tenterhooks. And it's something we can avoid. So let's do that. And closely related to that is post-election results declaration reporting. And let me come to where I belong. Me Ghana ni brofo no yekotie no kwanso. Timika omo antiase omo fanisa. The point is this. When the results are declared, Obiari, Eyaniya, Obiadinkunim, Eyanide. The meaning of that is that Obikita fuel, Obikita manches. So when you are reporting on it and it's not well done, Udija, Udi manches, any fuel, a boom, Nenya Sovia, all of us will suffer. So whilst we try to report, let us manage it in such a way that the losers will feel respected. The winners will be allowed to be measured in their jubilation. Because at times, we'll be a near break. Now the mic I could, and then I'll pass over. Over the years in recent time, try and we continue to try, in a sense of guilt and shame, to put our house in order. A lot of education is ongoing, and we are mainstreaming media education and protection of journalists and the media to a level that it is helping us to have a situation where we are gradually getting to a point where journalists are not being attacked by us. We have a lot of work to do in that angle. We want to assure you today that we'll continue improving so that a day will come, because it's one of the measures we are using to determine whether we have truly become the best institution in the country and a reference point for the rest of the world. So we does not take that of mainstreaming, this sense of protection of journalism and the media, we don't take it for granted. It is in this that we have also made sure that our disciplinary processes, when it comes to how the police deal with the public, and more importantly with other stakeholders, particularly the media, has been strengthened in such a way that if you are found foul of it, you'll be dealt with in a manner to serve as a deterrent for the rest of the police population. So that is one major thing we are doing, putting our house together in order. The other point, it means that when there is going to be an attack, at least by doing our homework well, it may not come from us.
Emma so say Ghana yabato bia ebeko so no yabetro ho nsem anase yedi emu nsem no ebeto ho sede ye na echire no ye pa yetimi etwaye ni akwa bi nsem we Alex Akuffo oye senior lecturer at University of Ghana Legon wono and wodi to jawabana wono epa enwuma foforo ehontoma ya wato din say Ghana's 2020 elections.
What a war power and woman here Ghana's 20 elections. And so my one crampon mantem and Alex Ketchre Duku Frempon. Ya we senior lecturer for University of Ghana Legon. Ede and Sam Wing Etuja.
For a very long time now, if rejected ballots was a party, you are being detained after NPP, NDC or NDC and NPP. We have something on ticket balancing and ticket splitting. My 444 students are here and they are laughing. After 2 or more years in incubation, we are working very hard to have these data on the website, which can be easily accessed, but for a fee. I have dedicated a new book to all presidential and parliamentary contestants, past, present, and future, in the hope that you will continue to give me something to write about. I must admit that Ghana's 2020 elections have been long in coming, but God willing, we shall meet again a year this time to launch Ghana's 2024 elections, so that its contents will be digested long before 2028.
And which Professor Aaron Michael Quay, ya enkane was Speaker of Parliament, and so editor just say, a dear say a woman, ebe boapa, and I say, ebe ban for sure, a de ama wa my Ghana, and amanyoku akudo.
I used to say that if you are engaged in a competition by way of 100 years dash, this is the John Williams.
we were able to talk yards to Parliament. In a 100-meter race, and you have 2 legs, but you tie one leg behind you, and you decide to run on one leg, and they all hustle. And that is how sometimes we treat our women in society. And we waste a lot of talents because we don't give who we are due. And for that matter, we'll talk about affirmative action. But how do you talk about affirmative action without data and statistics in this modern digital world? This is the place to go and pick that one. Of course, acknowledge it, and you are good to go. And you find this is applicable in many areas of our national life and our politics. So, ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, I will recommend, without any hesitation whatsoever, that everyone should get a copy.
Enwoma ekita pages mako ha bienu ene edionan enum 245 pages ya wamo achiche mu 3 chapters ya ekasa ede afa wo my Ghana ya batwo abakosem ho efri ebra ye nyanya afa hudie bepem bra ye nya afa hudie ene bra ye hyase eto aba e wo my Ghana bepem ye 4th Republic wo afempim bienu ene dunsia no emu.
So for share Yesika Samso Mohammed Amin Adam. Eden sama to just say a yakaswa winnie bakwantin pono. Now one more ya woman for be SCSA a yako wasabino and a yan on the Caribbean a Ghana buying.
Amaneboy Echiremwa, Wabaya flyovers, Wasapato Junction, Aqualenke Western Bypass, Akopiemo, Ewo Big Apple, no Ewo Budumburam, Ewutu Breku, Ene Akuti Junction, Ye Bema Akronabedi Ayemre, Ye Kase Watchrase, Sapato Eko Akuti Junction, no Yadiasa contractor no Ashe Jumasia, when the Dendi and Yawayano, Eyo Hamuchichemo, Edio 9, no 42%, Ya Watchrase, and Ye Abutaibia, Shasa Sena Simpua, and Kawomo Eyevi.
This road is part of the Trans-West Africa Highway, which supposed to start from Nigeria and go beyond Ghana. And so there's a need to ensure uniformity and same standards between virtually all the stretches. So it's even, you notice that motorway is from the motorway all the way through to this area. Now we have from Kaswa, the initial project had been done up to Kaswa, and it was now a single carriageway from there all the way beyond Winneba. So the intention is now to make this a dual carriageway from that end that is ended to beyond Winneba.
Enwetwe engineers ya woye adwuma echire se second phase project ya woye ewo akoti eko Winneba no e ade se encontentem esane se adan ahodo bi ewo eye zone nimu a ehu behia se wo mo ebehwe se obeyi sa adan ni nyina no e de free ho ansana otumi aye adwuma ni ye ye mpo esese wode mpatasika ema adehye a properties anase ejapade yi eye wo mo dia.
As you could see on your way coming here, they've done all the clearings. They are raising the road to information level, and then all the covers that were proposed, about 39 of them or so, they finished all of them on this side. Yes, there are a few of them to be built on the existing road, but because the road is in use, those will have to wait until they finish works on this side, and then it goes on from there. A few buildings in the way will have to be demolished. A lot of them has been demolished, but a few that are standing there, my understanding is that they have not been fully compensated. And a few of them too have been compensated, but we've asked for a little more time so they can relocate.
Wabra waswafo a wohwe ya kwan ne akwantempo ensem eso ene waswafo a wohwe o my Ghana isikasem ene ne ntoto yeso ekonsrahwe ewo biaye a project ekoso ya wone ensemhwefo ekasa ya ready to dwa se project e ade se Ghana ban ankasa ena wodi ne sika eye nanso enkame aye se omanfo bi ekiro se ekowasefo ena eboa aye project nanso e Ghana ban ena wo ye ne nsem no emu nchiremu ni.
I was discussing with the minister that we should extend this contract, if possible, through to Cape Coast, to Takoradi, and then to the border. If we do that, given the quality of work being done here, we can be assured that we will have a road network that can stand the test of time, and that will bring significant relief to our people, particularly on the western areas of our country. So the Minister and I will work together to see how we support this project. Let me use the opportunity to say that this is a Government of Ghana project. I signed the commencement letters for this project. It was awarded by the Minister for Roads and Highways, and we are funding this project fully from the budget, from the national budget. So it is not an ECOWAS road.
The Krakram was for ya was share Quani Aquantin Ponsem Eswo, or Ascensu Buachi, Eden Sem say at Wasso.
The issues are important. In fact, they are all part of the contract management, project management. I know that they've put in place safety measures, but if there are specific issues that the people are not happy about, we are ready to address them. We've had similar situation in the Ofanko Sawam road project that we received a lot of complaints. Well, we sat down with the consultant and the contractors and we were able to resolve them, and currently there are no issues.
I will say I am called JDA and Semu. Wajadi ensem emuno banks ahodo ya ban ede hyehyeye ebaya wonumu entumi engina bibinti ya namso ema omanfo bebre na ehwere wonumu sika no ene ya fotosanfo de nsama ba betudwa se wonumu de eye 700 million Ghana cedis bi ama se emfanhwe safo no.
We had indicated in the 2024 mid-year review of fiscal policy presented in July 2024 that Cabinet had granted approval for the disbursement of an additional 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to provide relief and bailout for those whose funds have been locked up in the fund management companies. I am glad to inform you that the Ministry of Finance has processed the release for the first tranche of 700 million Ghana cedis of the additional 1.5 billion Ghana cedis for the Securities and Exchange Commission to further bail out the remaining customers whose funds were locked up, including Black Shield Fund Management Limited customers. Yesterday, I instructed the Controller and Accountant General to release the funds to mitigate the stress on affected persons. The 1.5 billion Ghana cedis will be released in 3 tranches. This amount will bring the number of investors to be fully settled under the Black Shield Limited to 82,096 customers, representing 92%.
Afeyanko amahodwo ensemu. Ensuo ejiri afamyae ahodo ene wonum enkronkitwa enam so emene no enipa aduasa bako atwanananom ensiedo fo echim se de baye no nam so emadodo na adan asese anase ejiri ediego ne senti Sudanese civil defense spokesperson Kreshi Hussein edi atudwa se enipa aduasa bako ene free mu ia akwakoyare hosem ye pa ewo Northern Sudan nina ensuyiri a ebaye Yasan Abdul Wahab wono Memuni wɔkyerɛ sɛ sɛde asɛm no esiye no na ɛwɔ sɛ wɔpɛ baabi ɛma na busuafo ɛkɔhyɛ ne senti wɔkɔbɔ ntabodan bi ɛna ɛde ɛma wɔn mu na sabre yi deɛ wɔne nipa bi aka bomu a wɔn mo pere sɛ wɔbɛtumi ayɛ adan foforɔ ɛde ama wɔn mu a enya baabi ɛmfa wɔti ɛntɔ na sɛde asɛm no esiye no mpanimfoɔ ɛkyerɛ sɛ wei ɛha adwene yie papaapa san sɛ wohwɛ Sudan man mu a bosomi wei nkoa no nsubani atɔ ɛyiri afa hɔnom no ɛnam so ɛma enipa bɛyɛ sɛ 317,000 ɛna abrɛ anasɛ wɔnom akɔ ɔhawa wodoɔ na emu ne senti emu 118,000 so no wonya baabi mpo na wɔdi wonti ɛde ato sabre deɛ wɔnom kyerɛ sɛ enefua bɛyɛ ahenu pɛpɛpɛ eni a entokwa esi ɛyɛ Sudan man mu Sudanese Armed Forces no ɛne Rapid Support Forces no ni senti enso yiri nso akwakoyɛ asɛm kɛseɛ pa ɛne ɔhaw ɛwɔ wɔnom man mu. Abusiafo area and samaya jebre edeba somuno hana mira kwan na yedini nano esi musomfo ye me Lateefa Akuffo madawase amamu enisha makrao